Let's also take a look at what are the key implications of Khaleda Zia's passing away. So the first one is that this paves the way for her son Tarique Rahman, his elevation in the party. He becomes the party chief, and he was the working president, but now the party is under his control completely with Khaleda Zia's passing away. Now this also closes Bangladesh's most dominant political chapter. Khaleda Zia was a tall leader. She was the first woman prime minister, and she was a two-time prime minister. And with her passing away, now this closes the chapter of the most dominant political leader in Bangladesh politics. Now, India can also hope for close ties with Tarique Rahman. Remember, Tarique Rahman is being seen as the front runner for the Prime Minister's post in the upcoming elections. In fact, BNP is being seen as the front runner. We saw the kind of support, the kind of gathering on Tarique Rahman's return to Dhaka just a few days ago. And with now Khaleda Zia also passing away, the BNP can consolidate sympathy support as well, as the elections are just around the corner in February, on February 12th. There's not much time left for the elections, and with so much happening already in Bangladesh, the BNP can be the party that rules Bangladesh after 2 months maybe. And so these are the key implications. Indrajit continues to stay with us. Indrajit, talking about Tarique Rahman, we saw the kind of huge crowd that had gathered on his arrival to Bangladesh after 17 long years. And does that speak volumes about people seeing a ray of hope in Tarique Rahman, and also about his political future? He can be the Prime Minister as well.
Well, absolutely. The return of Tariq Rahman is very, very significant as far as Bangladesh politics is concerned. We have been seeing that over the 1.5 years, ever since the toppling of Sheikh Hasina government, there has been a political vacuum in Bangladesh. And remember, mostly, for most part of the last few decades, Bangladesh politics has been bipolar. Either the BNP has been in government or the Awami League. As we are discussing the life and times of Khaleda Zia, she was a three-time prime minister, and she was the prime minister in some turbulent times, just like Sheikh Hasina. And the interesting part was that both these women, both these ladies, they are contemporaries, they're of similar age, and they had this huge rivalry between the two. On one hand, you had Sheikh Hasina leading the Bangladesh Awami League. On the other hand, Khaleda Zia, leading the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and Bangladesh politics almost, uh, moving between these two poles in a very bipolar polity, and both of them retaining their own support base, their own vote bank in Bangladesh. The BNP, of course, for a long period of time was in coalition with the Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh. So in that backdrop, you were speaking about India's, equations with Bangladesh, and specifically with the BNP leadership. But that is something which is very interesting times we're heading into, because India have always had very close ties with Bangladesh, no matter who was in power, whether the Awami League was in power or the BNP. But the perception that has now come into effect, of course, is that India has been mostly comfortable seeing the Awami League in power in Bangladesh because of the historic ties with Sheikh Mujib's family. And the fact that Sheikh Mujib's daughter, Sheikh Hasina, was in charge of the Awami League, and then she became the prime minister. You would remember during Indira Gandhi's tenure, it was during the 70s when Sheikh Mujib and the entire family was massacred in Dhaka. Sheikh Hasina, Sheikh Rihanna, her sister, they were all abroad in Europe. And it was during Indira Gandhi's tenure and under the aegis of Pranab Mukherjee then that they were given shelter in New Delhi. They were given a safe haven in New Delhi. And then slowly they made their way back and returned to Bangladesh, and then resurrected the Awami League then. That was the time when, the BNP, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, was the other big player, a dominant player in Bangladesh. And we've had, there are viral conversations, telephonic conversations between Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia which have become iconic conversations, the rivalry between the two, and the conversations between the two leaders. So the Bangladesh politics has always revolved around these two leaders. And with the passing away of one, it's literally the end of an era of the kind of politics that we've seen in the past few decades. So uh, Bangladesh politics now is in a transition. It's in a search for a new leadership, a new statesman. So, on one hand, you see Sheikh Hasina literally in exile right now in India. On the other hand, you have Khaleda Zia passing away. Her passage paves the way for a new leadership, one that began last year during the students' upheaval, students' uprising. And we saw a host of new student leaders emerging, from Nahid Islam to Mahfuz Alam to a lot of to Hasnat Abdullah's of Bangladesh politics. Now they were absolutely new leaders who have propped up from student politics. They then went on to form the new political party called the National Citizens Party, which is now tied up with the Jamaat-e-Islami, which broke its ties with the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. The BNP on itself is also looking for a regime change. Tarique Rahman has returned. He's taking the mantle up from his mother. It was just a matter of time. And now, with the announcement of the passing away of Khaleda Zia, he is going to be crowned as the top leader of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party in the absence of Khaleda Zia. He was, in a sense, in any case, the acting chairman of the party, and also the top contender, in a sense, the front runner for becoming the next prime minister of Bangladesh. So, this will only gather more momentum and more emotional support for the BNP, for the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, right ahead of the elections in Bangladesh. Anjali.
Right, Indrajit, as you were mentioning about the kind of impact that these two female politicians, female leaders have had on Bangladesh. One is Sheikh Hasina, the other is, of course, Khaleda Zia. The kind of voter base that they both had. Now, with Khaleda Zia's passing away, Sheikh Hasina remains the tallest political figures in Bangladesh, though, of course, she is in exile in India.
Well, that's right. And that is the interesting point that in the absence of Khaleda Zia, in a very bipolar polity, Sheikh Hasina would have had a very, very big impact. However, the reality on the ground today is that Sheikh Hasina, she's alive, she's in exile in India right now, and her party, the Awami League, has been banned by the interim Muhammad Yunus administration. So the Awami League, the entire leadership of Awami League is now in India, mostly in India or abroad. So, the Awami League is a banned outfit. They are not being able to take part in the politics, and most definitely, they are not being able to take part in the upcoming elections in Bangladesh. So, in that backdrop, the biggest political party or the biggest political entity is the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So, a lot of people, if you see the spectrum in Bangladesh politics, while the left liberal space was occupied by the Bangladesh Awami League, the more centrist approach, center to right space was occupied by the Bangladesh Nationalist Party in coalition with the Jamaat-e-Islami. And the right wing was the Jamaat-e-Islami, and then there was a far right with Hifazat-e-Islam and other political parties, religious political parties. What has happened right now is that in the absence of Awami League, that there was the liberal space, the progressive space, those who are the elite in Bangladesh, educated middle class youth, elite.
Right.
That vote bank is likely to shift towards the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, which has taken the more
Absolutely.
centrist left approach.
Absolutely, Indrajit. Thank you for all those details, for throwing light on the political career of Khaleda Zia and the impact that it will have on the coming political future of Bangladesh. Khaleda Zia, the two-time Prime Minister and the first woman Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has passed away at the age of 80.